Before I start the video, I want to let you know that I've written an ebook called Practical Screenwriting. In this ebook, I cover things like how to beat writer's block and procrastination. I go through the biggest mistakes screenwriters make and identify what holds you back as a writer. And I also give you a better way to look at story that's practical for writers who are actually trying to write, not just fill their heads with more information. Click the link in the description to learn more. Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you about this right here. Stop giving format feedback. So a big thing that I see a lot of the times, both in the different Facebook groups that I run, on my channel, and in my experience in film school, I see a lot of people giving script format feedback when people ask them for criticism or feedback on their scripts. And I hate this. I hate this so much because this misses the point of why somebody is asking for feedback, and it isn't helpful in the long run. So first of all, script format is not story, okay? Any idiot can format a script correctly. It takes a quick Google and maybe one video watching how script format works to get the general idea. And from there, you can do one pass on a final screenplay and fix formatting, and then it's done. What's not easy is building a story and actually creating that story to be strong and to not go off in 16 different directions and actually be focused and to actually emotionally move an audience and to state something and actually have something to say. That is what is difficult. Format is not difficult. And so what happens is people are not looking at the elements of a story that are actually important when they are giving feedback. They're not looking at the moral and philosophical conflict in the story. They're not looking at the characters and whether or not the characters actually work in this particular story. They're not looking at the structure. They're not looking at the scenes. They're reading the script really quick and they're going, oh, on page 3, your header isn't correct, you need to fix your header, or this action line isn't working, or you don't have your dialogue formatted correctly here. But these things don't matter. I mean, they do matter if you're trying to sell this script to a production company later, but when you're writing the first few drafts, when you're having friends read it, when you're having other people read that script for the first time to give you feedback, it's not about your formatting. It's not about your formatting at all. I mean, the story is going to be completely separated from the format. Now, obviously there are certain scripts and stuff that use the format to tell their story well. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the story itself. These things over here, the moral, philosophical conflict, character structure, scenes, these things over here are going to be divorced from your format. They aren't going to be tied to it. And so it's important as a writer to seek out people who are not going to just give you script format feedback. And as somebody who is going to be giving feedback, you want to be giving story feedback, not format feedback. So let's say you're somebody or you have received format feedback only from somebody when you ask them to give you feedback or give you criticism for your particular screenplay. What this means, if you're just getting script format feedback, or if you are giving script format feedback only, it means that you have no understanding of story. It means that when you're looking at this person's story, you don't know what's working, you don't know what's not working. There's no way that this person's script is the best story that's ever been written on the page and you literally have no notes other than format notes. If that's the case, fantastic, but the chances of that are extremely, extremely low. And so you need to focus on learning these things. You need to focus on increasing your understanding of story, because when you can increase your understanding of story, you will be able to give and receive better feedback, and you'll be able to seek out people who will give you better feedback, and you can also give them better feedback because you're giving them story feedback, you're not giving them format feedback. Any monkey with a keyboard can figure out how to format a script. It's not difficult. What is difficult is writing a story and telling that story well. And that's where you need other people around you to give you criticism that maybe you're not ready to hear, but you need to hear so that you can actually write your story and write it well. So, and the last thing is giving in-depth story feedback will strengthen your own writing. So, it's not just about looking for people who will give you story feedback, it's about also being open and available and able to give other people feedback on their scripts. Because if you are focused on these sort of elements over here, if you're focused on the elements I've talked about on my channel, if you're focused on actually learning how is this story working, and then how is this particular story not working, or where are the mistakes, if you can actually figure that out and you can actually translate that into helpful criticism to that writer, that means you are deepening your own understanding of story. Because a lot of times writers read something that's mediocre and they can't pinpoint what's not working in it. They know it's not great, but they don't know why it's not great. And you should, rather than just being like, okay, here's your format feedback and here's your script back, I'm not sure why it's not working, but good job. You should focus on strengthening your understanding of story. So when you read that script and you're like, initially I'm not sure what's not working, give yourself some time to think about it. Give yourself some time to go through the story again, to maybe go for a walk thinking about the story, to write down your initial reactions of what you felt was just simply bland or boring or confusing, and then you can start there to start saying, okay, why was this particular point bland or boring or confusing? And then when you go there, you can start saying, it was because this was an unnecessary character, or it was because the story did not have the correct momentum to actually keep the emotion pumping to the next scene and the next scene and the next one. Or, this story had no real conflict on the philosophical or moral level. All it was some stereotypical bad guys fighting some stereotypical good guys, and that was it. And when you're able to actually analyze this, then it will make you stronger as a writer. So that's all I got for you today. Stop giving format feedback, focus on giving story feedback, focusing on increasing your understanding of story by helping others understand their scripts. I'll see you in the next one.